Okay. Well, welcome everybody to the 2023 Adult 55 and Over Section Championship Captains Meeting. Thank you guys for being on, and thank you for being captains. We know that it can be really a great experience, but it can also have its challenges and be a lot of work. So we do appreciate it. We know we couldn't do league without you. We really do appreciate you guys. This is a pretty laid back meeting. I do have a PowerPoint I'll show, but if you have questions as we go along, feel free to just pop in, raise your hand or put it in the chat, and we'll grab you. We want to make sure that you're very prepared for this weekend and have all the questions answered that you have. If we miss something, you can always reach out to us, email or text, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. Can you guys see the blue screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this is, go ahead. Okay. Could everybody mute their microphone so that we don't get feedback? And then if you do have questions, you can pop off of mute and come back on. So this is the Adult 55 and Over Section Championship Captains Meeting. Welcome. This is for all the levels, men and women. We are playing this year outdoors at Longmeadow High School and at Forest Park in Springfield. So I put these two images up to show you the little red dot on them is where you go in. So for those of you, when you're playing at Longmeadow, you want to put one Bliss court into your GPS. If you look up Longmeadow High School, it's going to take you to the back of the campus and it's hard to find the courts. The parking lot is between the tennis courts and the big Y. So if you put one Bliss court in there, it'll take you right to that parking lot. The Forest Park entrance is on Sumner Avenue. So if you put in 299 Sumner Avenue, it'll get you pretty close to the entrance. And then there's a big, you drive through a big kind of entrance to the park. There's a little toll booth gate there. When you get to that, you'll tell them you're with USTA New England. And they will make a little mark on something, and then you will not be charged for parking. Typically, it's $3 or $5. So we're covering that. So make sure you do tell them that you're with USTA New England. I say the Sumner Avenue again. If you put in Forest Park tennis courts, it will give you the mailing address, which is on the back side of the park, and all of the gates are locked back there. So make sure you put in Sumner Avenue for Forest Park and one Bliss Court for the Longmeadow location. We have a few quick reminders for, we don't go over all the regulations, but if you do have some questions other than these are just some things that come up quite a bit. We would like for you guys as captains to check in 45 minutes prior to your first match. So if your first match is at 8 o'clock in the morning, please come at 7:15. It gives us time to give you your player gifts and your lineup cards, and you still have time to fill it out and turn it in 30 minutes early. If your match is at 3 o'clock, come at 2:15. So you don't have to come 45 minutes prior to the start of the tournament, just prior to the start of your first match. All other matches, we need you to check in and hand in your lineup cards 30 minutes prior to your match time. All of your players should be present, ready to play, and shoes tied, rackets in hand. That way that we can get you guys out on courts as soon as possible. The schedule is pretty tight. So we're going to need you to really be ready to go out and get on court and get started when we call you guys up. So let your players know we need everybody there early on time, 30 minutes ready to play. When your players are called to play, they're going to be asked to show a government issued ID. It can be a driver's license. It can be a passport. It can be anything that's government issued, just so that we know that who you wrote down on the lineup card is who is actually playing. When you fill out your lineup cards, please write the name that they use in Tennis Link. So if their name, like my name's Christina, that's what it is in Tennis Link, but everybody calls me Christy. But on the card, please put what's in Tennis Link, because we match that up to the name that's on the roster to make sure that everybody's eligible. When you guys get out there, there is no coaching of any kind. So there are areas to sit around the fences and where you can watch. There are bleachers, and just know that you can't coach. You can't tell your players, keep hitting down the forehand, down the line. You can't do any of that. So please make sure that there's no coaching of any kind. If your players have a problem with coaching or anything on the court that takes more than 45 seconds to resolve, they need to come to the tournament desk and come chat with us and have us handle it. They can't tell you off court, go get somebody from the tournament desk. They need to leave their racket on the court and they need to come get that. So if you could please relay that to your players and just let them know that they're responsible for whatever it is that's happening on court. If they need a water, they can't ask you to go get a water. They need to come off the court and grab a water, that kind of thing. So just help them understand that way we don't know what conversation you're having, and they might just be asking for water, or there might be coaching going on. So just to alleviate all of that, we have the players come straight to the desk and handle that. The format for play is
I have a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I thought that they could not leave the court for water. I thought they have to have everything on the court with them.
They need to take everything with them, but if for some reason they run out, it's going to be hot this weekend.
Yeah.
So if they run out of water, they can try to wait till there's a crossover or a set break. But yeah, they can come off for water.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a round robin format. Their players are going to play 2 out of 3 regular sets. That's with add scoring. If you split sets, it is a 10-point Komen tie break. There's no time limit, so you guys are going to play it out and play until you're done. If it gets to be 6-all, it is a 7-point Komen tie break. You're going to switch on odd games, no rest after game 1. The 10-minute warm-up does include your serves. And again, for expediency, if you could please make sure that you keep your warm up to 10 minutes, that would be really helpful. We don't have the ability to go around and call. We don't have officials, but we will have some people walking and hopefully keeping everything on time. We're trying to keep everything moving. Players from both teams, one from each team, needs to come off the court and report their scores, return the balls, and then initial their scorecard. And then when all of the lines have completed, you guys as captains need to come up, check all the scores, make sure that you agree with them, and sign the scorecard. So if you guys could do that, then once we get the bills signed, then we put them into Tennis Link. So we have a few things I wanted to go over, just some general sportsmanship. These are unofficiated matches. These are just like your local league matches, but we really want everybody to be good sports out there and, play and know that, this is recreational tennis. Again, if there is something that happens on court, they can't agree with the score, somebody thinks that their lines aren't being called properly, then just please have them come off the court. We're there to help you guys and to help your players make sure that it's a good experience for everybody. So let them know they need to come off court and grab one of us to help from the site director's desk. I wanted to go over lets a little bit because we are outdoors. There are no nets between the courts and balls are going to come onto the court. So a couple of things. You can only call a let on your court, but anybody on the court can call a let. So I say that because if a ball's rolling at the back fence to your neighbor's court, you can't stop their play and have them and call a let for them. I say that also, we are all human, and if you think somebody is going to step on a ball and break their ankle, then just be careful. But I just want to make sure that officially, you can only call lets on your own court. And in that light, I know it's hard because playing indoors, we're not super used to this. But if you guys, when you're serving and when you're returning serves, if the ball is out, if this first serve is out, call it really loud, but stop it and throw it in your pocket. Don't just let it go behind you, because those are the balls that get onto other courts really easily. If one of your balls goes onto the other court, just wait for them to finish and ask them for some ball help so that they can pop it back over to you. But I just want to make sure that everybody kind of understands the lets, and that balls are going to they will be going a little bit on everybody's court. So just be courteous of the other players and the other matches, and don't run behind a court that's in the middle of a point. We are playing outdoors. The schedule, again, I said it is really tight. So we need you, as soon as the match is over, as soon as it's over, please come to the desk to report your scores. Don't hang out. Tell your players not to hang out and chat with you guys and kind of wander over. We really need to get new matches out on the courts as soon as possible. We probably will have some spotters looking at courts and waiting to see when people shake hands. So we just need you to come on once the match is over, come report scores, and then you guys can go and talk about it afterwards. I've had a few questions about player eligibility. For the section championship, you need, everybody needs 2 matches played. A default does count. It does not matter what NTRP level you are. If you advance to the national championship, computer rated players need 3 matches played, and a default does count. Self-rated players need 4 matches played. So make sure you check your rosters and get everybody qualified in this weekend if they're not already qualified. If you do go to nationals, your players don't have to play in sectionals to go to nationals, but they do have to meet the eligibility requirements that nationals have. There's no leeway on that from the national championship. There are no waivers. Does anybody have any questions on any of that?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Or I just want to clarify that in terms of lets, that if your ball goes to the other court and you choose to wait for them to return it to you, that is not a let.
That's
correct?
That's correct. Now, if they see the ball and it's in their line of sight or play, they can call a let on their court.
Exactly. But
Yes.
if yes. Okay.
Yeah.
If my ball goes to another court and I want to wait, I am not calling a let.
That's correct.
Okay. Yep. Thanks.
This is going on 2 years now, so that you guys know that your site directors and your tournament directors act as officials at our section championships. Any code violations from your tournament director or site director automatically count towards national suspension points. That means that if for some reason, somebody breaks their racket on the court and it gets called, not only can you be defaulted from the match depending on the severity, but your actual tennis link account will get points applied to it. And if you get 10 points or more, and they can add up. So if you got some this tournament, some in next tournament, at 10, you get suspended for 3 months, and it's national. So you can't go to Florida and play. You can't go to Eastern and play. They are national suspension points. We don't have trouble much with this. But I did want to let everybody know that the national system is fairly new. It used to just be at the section level, but now it goes across the country. And that's also held in the tennis link system. It's not visible to anybody but you. But you can see if you have points on your account.
Is that forever, or do they go away after a while? Do you redeem yourself at some point?
Yes, you can redeem yourself at some point. I believe it's I want to say after 12 months the points roll off, but I can check on that for you.
I don't think I'll ever get them. I hope.
Okay. Yes, let's just not get any. How about that?
No, right.
No points for anybody. Yeah. You guys know this is a no default championship, so we need you to cover all 3 lines for the entirety of the championship. If something happens during the championship and you default the line during the round robin, then we have to default that line throughout the championship, even if matches have already been played. So for example, if you only have 6 players and for some reason one of your players gets hurt and can't play line 3 doubles, then that line 3 doubles will be 6-0-6-0 for the other team for all, depending on if you're in a 4-team flight for 3 matches or 5-team flight for all 4 matches. That way the math works out so that none of the other teams have a mathematical advantage. However, if you do advance to playoffs in this weekend, the line is reset. You can play all the lines. It doesn't go into semis or finals. I like to put medical timeouts in here because there's just a ton of gray area. This one is, this rule is really written for tournaments that have a referee and an athletic trainer. So we have to do the best we can with what we've got. Officially, a medical timeout consists of evaluation time plus a maximum of 3 minutes for treatment time. So basically what they say is when the athletic trainer comes and talks to the person, they have up to 12 minutes and then they have 3 minutes to put ice on the ankle or whatever it happens to be. So for our purposes, if somebody gets hurt on the court, somebody else on the court needs to leave their racket and come get one of us. And we get out there. We are not medical people. We are not going to administer any kind of medical treatment. But if the person needs ice, we'll give them an ice bag of ice to help. But once that sort of treatment time starts, there's 3 minutes for that player to decide if they're going to continue on or if they're going to retire the match. So sometimes the time it takes to get your player off the court to come grab us and then us to get out there, depending on how far we have to walk, it's not a cut and dry amount of time. So please give us a little bit of leeway on that one and know that we're doing the best we can. And we want to make sure that everybody's safe and treated the best that we can. And that's the most important part. Bleeding timeout is a little bit different. It consists of a little bit more time because you got to stop bleeding, clean up the court, and dispose of contaminated items. So hopefully we won't have any of that, but that's a little bit more time. So it's just, like I said, it's a little bit gray, not super cut and dry. The medical conditions that you can take a medical timeout for, any kind of an injury, if you roll your ankle or, if you take a fall, hopefully nobody's going to take a fall. If you start to cramp, you can take a medical timeout and treat it yourself. What you can't do is if you have a cramp in your left leg, take a medical timeout, and then the next set take one for cramps in your right leg. Cramping is cramping. And then any other condition that you believe requires diagnosis or treatment. And this is not something that is for gamesmanship. If there's a heat-related anything, if somebody does turn an ankle and wants to kind of see how it goes for 3 minutes, they can take a medical timeout. It is perfectly legitimate. So let them know that it's up to them to tell us that that's what they're doing.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if a player gets hurt on the court and has to stop the match,
Yes.
does that then, it's a default, so does that carry forward from there, even if we have other players to play the lines for the next matches?
So that one's considered a retirement.
Okay,
So as long as they
Okay.
have played 1 point, it's considered a retirement.
okay,
And it is not the same as a default.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Did I hear somebody else in there have a question? Okay.
Actually, what if somebody gets hurt in the warm-up? If you have a replacement player,
If they get hurt during the warm-up, you can replace the player. Yes. But you got to come let us know. If that happens, you have to let us know so that it doesn't just look like some other person's getting on the court and playing the match. So please definitely come and grab us, and so that we can do all the paperwork part of it and keep it all transparent. Okay, the fun stuff. We need photos. So our marketing department has asked that if you have any fun photos that you can put them in the USTA New England's Instagram via direct message. Or if you click on, and you guys will get a copy of this as a PDF. If you click on this link, it goes directly to a drive and you can drop photos in there. If you have a story, we would love to hear your stories. Why do you captain? You know, is there something fun about your team? Anything that I just would really like to get some of the stories that we love to hear who wins, but we also want to know, you know, what experiences you're having and why you play tennis and, you know, what kind of memories are you making with your friends and your family. So please tell us your story. We really would like to hear it. And this link is open to anybody. So if you have people who are coming to watch and they take pictures, you can share it with them and they can drop the photos right in. All right, so national championship schedule. The adult 55 and over 6-0s and 8-0s will play on October 20th through the 22nd in Orlando at the national campus. And the 7-0s and 9-0s, October 27th through the 29th, also at the national campus. If you guys haven't been to the national campus, it's really cool. All right, a few FAQs. No courts are available for practice before or during the championship. We don't have enough courts for everybody to practice, so we don't have the ability to let anybody practice. There are a couple of areas, I checked with them actually to try to get more courts for us, but there are a lot of places that are doing some construction, but there are some outdoor courts you might be able to find around if you want to practice before. Masks are optional on and off the court. Please be respectful of anybody who chooses to wear a mask or doesn't wear a mask. You know, there is a little bit of an uptick in COVID, and we just want to make sure that everybody feels respected. Please bring plenty of water and snacks with you. Clear liquids only are allowed on court. But you guys, there's plenty of places at Longmeadow and at Forest Park where you can set up like a little canopy, and you can bring a giant cooler with ice and throw some things in it if you'd like to. There are a lot of places to kind of spread out and make your own little space. So please feel free to do that. I know that there is a water fountain at Longmeadow. I don't remember, maybe somebody else on the call can remind me if there's a water fountain at Forest Park. Seems like there is, but I'm not going to swear to that. And then
I don't remember if there was a water fountain, but I know that last year the porta potties didn't show up until like into the first day, and there were like 2 bathrooms for everyone, and it was for all the women, and it was kind of a disaster.
Well, they're coming Thursday.
Okay, because they didn't last year, and it was a problem.
Yeah, they'll be there Thursday. Yeah, any other questions? Okay. All right.
I know you sent the email about potential rain.
Yes.
And I know you can't say anything about it now, or maybe you can. Do you know where certain teams will go, or will it sort of be at the last minute that you tell us that your 8:00 match is now being played in Enfield, or how are you going to manage that? I don't envy you because I'm sure it's a pain in the neck. But
well, it is going to be a little bit of a last minute thing, but I will tell you that we will give you time. So if for some reason it starts raining at 7:00 in the morning and it's pouring down rain, and we know you're coming from a certain place, we're going to let you know as soon as possible, and we're going to do what we can to arrange that. I've been watching the weather like a crazy person. I don't think we'll have rain, if we have it, until the afternoon. So knock on wood, maybe it'll stay away. But we will definitely give you guys time to drive to where you're going. I don't have any idea which teams will go when. It would depend when it starts raining and who happens to be playing at the time. And if it rains and it looks like it's only going to rain for 10 or 15 minutes, we'll wait and we'll squeegee the courts and we'll let them dry, and we'll probably continue to play. There are lights at Longmeadow, so we'll try to stay outside as much as we can. I will say, if we do go indoors at any portion of the day, we will stay indoors for the rest of that day. And then if we have the ability to go outside the next day, we'll go outside the next day.
Thank you.
Anything else? I thought I might have heard a little hand raised beep, but I don't have access to see it.
Hi, I have a question.
Go ahead.
And when you said no, the captains are notified, is that via email or do you have our text? Would you text us?
So we will definitely email you. And what we'll do when you check in the first time, please verify your phone number with your site director or whoever is checking you in, because if it's last minute, we will also text and call you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I have a question back to the lets.
Okay.
So if I serve my first serve and my ball rolls to the other court and everyone waits for me to get a ball, I don't get a second serve, correct?
So if you serve and your ball goes onto the other court, just you serve again. Don't wait in between to get the ball off of the other court.
Okay. But so that isn't a reason to give someone a first serve again.
That's correct. Now, once in a while, if a ball, you serve one, and a ball rolls onto your court, if you can take a couple of steps and kick it back to the back fence, and it takes 3 seconds, you don't get a first serve. But if for some reason it really interrupts your service motion and what's happening, and it takes time to get it off, and there's conversation or whatever happens, then it's a first serve. I will say that is also a very gray area. And I played outdoors all my life. And we typically, even in USTA League, would err on the side of giving the person the first serve. I'm just saying it's because it's not a cut and dry. If it takes 5 seconds, you get a first serve. And if it takes 3 seconds, it doesn't. Just if the service is really interrupted, then you should give them a first serve.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. We love all the gray areas. It's very helpful. So a couple links. We do have a captain's Facebook page. So if you're not on it, go ahead and pop on. We have a brand new captain's hub, thanks to some of our great local league coordinators putting that together. It's not specific to championships, but it has a lot of championship information on it, but it has the regulations for all the local areas. It has the timelines. It has the easy reference guides. It has national information. So check out the Captain's Hub. We're trying to make it easier for you guys to be able to go to one spot and get anything and everything that you need. If you pop on and you see something that's not there that you would like to see there, please let us know, because we're really trying to improve it and make sure that it works really well for you guys, and that it makes hopefully captaining a little bit easier. The important documents, that's your link to the show pad. That's a show pad link that has the schedules, and it has the captain handbook and the regulations and all of those things. That's always updated in real time. So if you have downloaded something and something changes, this link will be the brand new information. But if something changes, I always send an email out also. We do have an online store if you guys want a t-shirt or a mug or a tote bag. 10% of all the proceeds from our online store go to the New England Tennis and Education Foundation, which helps support some of our underserved communities. Just recently, they did a big fundraiser for some of the communities in Vermont that were hit really hard with the flooding. They do a lot of good things for tennis and for the people in New England. And our Color Wars color this year is pink. So we do have some pink things on the online store if you guys want to check those out. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing and see if anybody has any other questions. Oh, there you guys are. Now I can see you. Does anybody else have any questions? You guys, this is outdoors is a little different for everybody, so I want to make sure that we.
Question, Christy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The question is the schedule that you have on this email where I got into this is the one that we're using, correct?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Just to, can I confirm with you, men's 7-0, Forest Park, Long Meadow?
Hold on, let me pull it up. All right, men's 7-0. Oh, that's yeah, the men's 7-0. Both flights are playing at Forest Park. The final will be on Sunday at Long Meadow. All right. Is anybody else? Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, you're on mute, Hal. Oh, Matt, Hal, you're on mute. Oh, there you are. Oh, no. Should be at the bottom of your screen, kind of in the middle, but on just on the left a little bit. A little microphone. Can you type it in the chat? No, okay. All right, call one of us if you need it. All right, anybody else have any questions? Listen, again, with the weather, it is supposed to be really hot on Friday. Please start drinking water now. Please tell your players if they've got to hydrate early. If they wait until Friday to start hydrating, it's almost too late. We do have some heat precautions, but I just want to make sure you guys know to tell them, please, please, please start drinking water. Bring Gatorade, bring some of that. It's called Liquid IV, has some electrolytes. Be really careful. Make sure that when your players are out there, you know, they're watching each other, they're taking care of each other. And if they see anything that even remotely resembles some kind of a heat illness, please, please stop and let us know. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Hi. I just had a quick question on we were just practicing. Like I had one of my players, she got really hot yesterday and was nauseous.
Mhm.
Would that be considered a medical time? Like, and she'd only have 3 minutes, right, to decide at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she can take a medical timeout. So if that were the case, have her partner or somebody else that's on the court leave the racket, come grab one of us. We'll come talk to her. If she needs water or something, we'll make sure that, you know, whatever you got, if you guys have something, sometimes people carry those, the little tablets that are for electrolytes. Yeah, but once that starts, she has 3 minutes to decide if she would like to continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's sort of related.
Oh.
So the clear liquids rule, I mean, like flavored Gatorades, I mean, that stuff is all okay, I assume, right?
Yeah, we say clear because if you use red Gatorade and spill it and it stains the courts, they don't let us come back. So there are a lot of clear colored Gatorades that you can use, or just be very, very, very careful. Very careful. No coffees on the courts, no Starbucks. So go ahead, Hal. You had to.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if you're going to release the presentation to us after the call.
Yeah, so I am. It takes it just a little bit for Google to make it into my email inbox, and then I make it into a YouTube, and I'll send that out as well as the PowerPoint as a PDF. Yeah.
Great.
You're
Thank
welcome. All right. Anybody else? All right. I'm going to stop recording then.